I'm sure you've all heard the song Puff the Magic Dragon by Peter, Paul, and Mary. But have you ever heard the fallacy that goes along with it? That the song was written about smoking pot? Well, according to the website Snopes, a website solely designated to fact checking, this is incorrect information and was actually a poem written in 1959 by Leonard Lipton at 19 years old about the loss of his childhood innocence. Why do I bring this up? Because today's topic is about the increasingly problematic situation of DUIs or DUIDs related to the use of marijuana. The legalization of weed, at least on the basis of medical purposes, has now happened in 30 of our 50 states, including DC, according to procon.org. I have listed the map here so that you can see all of the 30 states that are using it for medical purposes, and it also shows in dark green that use it, the states that use it for medical and recreational purposes. That number will continue to grow from here, and it's anticipated that at some point it will become federally legal for both medicinal and recreational purposes. However, despite the increasing number of states legalizing marijuana, there are still no fair or 100% accurate ways to test for the levels of THC in the body, especially since cannabinoids can remain in the bloodstream for weeks after consumption. Yet Pennsylvania has very strict DUI laws concerning marijuana, and this is a big issue. So after years of rallying for the legalization of marijuana, Governor Tom Wolf legalized the use of marijuana for medical purposes on April 17, 2016. It wasn't actually available to be used until the spring of this year, but it was still a huge milestone. Pennsylvanians were excited. I myself was excited. I think the use of medical marijuana is just such a big thing. Like, it should be used more openly and often. More doctors should use it. A lot of them are turning to it because it has such great ways that it can help everybody without all the extra side effects that prescription medications can give us today. Then we found out the extremely constricting list of reasons why you could obtain it. And it was originally put into place that you couldn't even use flower or bud forms of it, like so. And you could only use it as pills, oils, creams, and things of that nature. According to the Marijuana Policy Project, in May of this year, this regulation was revised for whole flowers or buds to be used, as long as they are still being vaped, vaporizer, or consumed by some other form other than actually smoking it with a pipe or what have you. This is all great news, right? Well, yes, in the sense that PA is finally stepping forward with the changing times. But according to NORML, an organization working to reform the laws surrounding marijuana since 2013, in April of 2011, the DUI laws were amended that a person can only have 1 nanogram of THC per milliliter of blood in their system, as compared to the previous 5 nanograms per milliliter of blood, before being considered under the influence. 1 nanogram is a very small amount, which means that it's very easy to get a DUI even if you haven't consumed it in a week. This is unfair and unconstitutional to Americans. Big changes need to be made to address this issue, especially since, according to an article written by Bailey Ron, the only field sobriety test that even comes close to giving accurate results is a saliva swab, and police officers in general aren't even using it in the field. What's even worse is that scientists still haven't even figured out why, when looking at 2 different people of the same height, weight, and body build, they can test significantly different levels of THC in the system within the same time frame. So how can an accurate test be created for such a substance? This is something that scientists are still working on and still needs lots of perfecting, but needs to be created, because in the world that we live in, and with THC becoming so medically available and will probably be recreationally legalized within the next few years, there needs to be an answer for this, and something needs to be figured out as soon as possible. So these are some of the reasons why we, as Americans and Pennsylvanians, need to fight for our rights by continuing to fight for fair DUI laws surrounding marijuana. Because what's the use of legalizing it if you can get sent to jail even weeks after consumption? How do the lawmakers plan to handle this? Change needs to occur. There is no question about that. Now, what do I ask of you in all of this? I ask you to make sure your voice is heard, to make sure that the guys in the ivory towers hear our pleas and make change happen.